Good afternoon. This is Tamara Crawford. I am a PhD student at Columbia International University. I am showing a portion of my qualitative multi-case study on the role of faith-based ESL programs. One of my research questions was, how is faith integrated into the program? How should it be done? This part of my study focuses on what 10 faith-based ESL for adult programs are doing to share their faith. This map shows the location of the 10 programs which were involved in this study. These programs were a variety of sizes, from programs that met a few times a year, one night a week with just a few students, to those that met 4 days a week with hundreds of students. Each location has a different philosophy and practice. Evaluate each method and consider your program and whether these methods would function effectively there. One program director said the program does not share faith, it shows faith. The director has prayer with her staff and for the students. She shares a devotional by email. God is in all of it, but they do not evangelize in the classroom. The students know that it is directed and run by Christians because it is in a church. The director shared several incidents where she prayed with students who came to her for help. One student's daughter had been raped and the other student's husband had died. The teachers have been good listeners and have developed friendships with their students. Prayer is the foundation for all faith sharing. The local church can get involved and identify with the students by praying for them. In one of my case studies, the teacher has a time of blessing for the students by praying and quoting scripture. Another teacher prays for the students, nations, and family members back home. This shows the students how much the teacher cares for them. Another form of faith sharing is scripture. One program began each session with a meeting of all the teachers and students in a large room. Each table had a list of translations for an English verse, and all 14 languages represented by the program were on that list. Students volunteered to read the verse in their own language. One student asked to read it in English. The director shared a devotional based on that verse. The students were invited to a Bible study later that week on the same scripture. Another program used verses on the walls for decorations. Invitation to church programs is another way to share faith. Some churches plan special events for international students. In a university town, the church planned 3 picnics throughout the summer. The students in another program were invited to the singing Christmas tree at a local church. The Bible college sent a coach to pick up the students. Volunteers sat with the students on the bus and at the program, making them feel welcome. Many of the programs also invited students to Vacation Bible School, Awana clubs, and youth activities for their children. Several of the programs have Spanish churches connected with them, and a couple even had Portuguese and Farsi services provided. Hospitality is a way to gain access to the heart. Many programs have an informal time of coffee and tea with international snacks at the beginning or middle of class time. A faith-based ESL program focused on Arabic culture had a divan, or a Mideast sitting area with mats on the floor. This provided a comfortable, culturally appropriate space. This gives time for conversation that may lead to students sharing their hearts. Hospitality can go much farther than just school activities. Teachers can invite the students to their homes. Church members can be encouraged to get involved. This is the way students learn the culture and begin integrating. The connections made can lead to openness to the gospel. In my research, the students who accepted Jesus did so during one-on-one hospitality or Bible studies. This is the most effective in changing lives. Conversation partners meet weekly for English practice. This is so helpful for English acquisition, but in the process forms relationships that can be effective in faith sharing. We share what is important with our friends. The programs in some cities have established an adoption program. Christian families adopt an international for a semester. This was first done in university towns, but it can be established at faith-based ESL programs. The adoptee was invited to regular life activities such as weddings, funerals, and baptisms. Sometimes they went shopping together. They also included their adoptee in family meals and even family reunions. This is great for integration skills, but also opens doors for faith sharing. The students mustn't feel that they are just a project, but genuine friendships and relationships need to be established. Bible study is an obvious way to share faith. Even students with limited English skills can participate if illustrated with pictures. At a program with Afghani refugees, the class was led in a study of Psalm 23. They were learning it with hand and body motions. They had pictures to represent the parts of the psalm. When they got to the part, "When I walk in the dark valley, I will not be afraid. The Lord is with me," the teacher showed a picture of a dark valley. Then she said, "For us, the dark valley may be war or a child in the hospital," and she showed a picture. 3 of the ladies began to cry. She told them if they wanted to learn more about the shepherd, they could text the teacher. None have responded, but they plan to invite the students to a Good Shepherd Bible study. Discovery Bible study is an effective method for ESL students. At one program, the Old Testament stories are studied in the fall, and the life of Christ is covered in the spring. The class reads the story according to the English level achieved. Next, the students answer the following questions. Number 1, what does this passage teach about God? Number 2, what does this passage teach about people? Number 3, what am I going to do about this teaching? And number 4, share the story with someone. Great English practice, but also really going deep in what the Bible is teaching. Some programs can offer an optional translated Bible study or have it in the heart language. Bible studies can be an optional part of the program. This gives students a choice and makes this special time of faith sharing focused on the students who are really interested in learning about the Bible. Here are some Bible-based curricula that are used. Tried and True consists of a Bible story with an additional related story. It includes a lesson plan with vocabulary and a variety of activities to reinforce the vocabulary. Adventures in English, Exploring English, and Discovering English were written for English camps overseas and have been modified for faith-based ESL. These are interactive activities and they have optional scripture readings. Students have a notebook, but they don't need a textbook, which makes it good for programs who don't have a lot of finances. Using Everyday English Today and TESOL Passport to the World of English are published by Literacy Evangelism. It has reading and fill-in-the-blank exercises. This book is adapted from a literacy book, so the emphasis is on grammar, punctuation, reading, and writing. It does not have a communicative approach. Light of the World, Learn the Bible Through English is a free online resource. It has videos and teacher vocabulary like a picture dictionary. One teacher in my study used the opening pictures as a warm-up class discussion. Neighbor to Neighbor is a new curriculum presented at this conference as Thinking Rationally, Building a Curriculum for Church-Based ESL Programs. I think we should all check that one out. Dr. Jan Dormer said if you teach someone to think, they will have the ability to choose. These activities can be used with those resistant to faith sharing. These methods lead students to think about morality and why they believe what they believe, and natural communication about faith. Here are some possible topics that can be used. Discussion and formal debates develop English skills while bringing students face to face with how to determine right and wrong. Now it's your turn. Let's begin with question number 1.